Hi, I'm at the halfway point in dinovember 2023. I'm looking at the next piece that I have just completed to post. It's a very famous fragment of a jaw of a carnivore. Does that spoil it? I don't know. Depends if you're a paleo nerd. I don't know. But that's like partially and not why I'm gonna say a quick video, but who knows. Oh my goodness, this month has been just weird to say the least. I'm feeling very emotional, and it's annoying because I cannot attribute it to my period, because that's already been and gone. On to the next. So, I am trying to be optimistic about the coming year of 2024. I keep writing out little notes, just when anything springs to mind that I know I want to get done or I want to start next year. I'll probably pop them up on the screen as well, but I would really like to have a newsletter that I do every month, because I know that the Squarespace website has a feature where you can get people to pop their email in, and then you can get a cute little message from me each month. And I thought it'd be cute to like design like a little newsletter on Procreate or something and tell you what's coming up in the month, or perhaps do a roundup of the previous month. I'm not quite sure sort of whether I want it to cap off the month or to introduce what's going on with me for the next month. I don't know. A roundup sounds good. Although I like to plan things in advance, things do not always work out that way. Especially as this is not my full-time job. But more on that in a bit. Recently, I've shown interest in art markets, so I'm hoping to give that a go next year. I don't know whether it will be just me trying to do them in central Oxford or trying different places in the county of Oxfordshire. Not sure at the moment. All I know is I feel like, I don't know why I expected it to be any different, but I saw that there was one in the Truman Brewery in London. I've been there before, I think a couple of times for art fairs. I can't remember what the art fair was, but I remember going there when I was late teens with my dad. He would entertain a lot of my bullshit, wanting to go to art markets and stuff, or going up London, but he did enjoy going up London as well. I'm saying this as if he's gone. He is still very much present. I looked at, like, there was like an application process, because I know for these London ones, especially if it's an art one, you've got to apply to it because they've got to like see if you're a good fit or whatever. I don't know. It freaks me out because it reminds me of like applying to art degrees, and I never had the best of luck with that. But yeah, so I got through I clicked multiple links, got through the pages, and then got to the bit where it was like, you have to do your table payment, like prepayment, all in one go. And it was like, it was over £1,000. And I was just, and that, it went up in sort of stages of like table sizes. And it was like £1,000. And I was just like, I don't even know if I've ever made that from my art before. And also, I do not have £1,000. And I won't have £1,000 even when the time of that fair would roll around. And who knows if I'd get picked anyway, but I digress. So yes, maybe London is a no-go for right now. Especially like sort of, I guess you could say, prolific art markets. I don't know. I want to do a few before I jump into that world. See if I still like it. And I say still because I have done markets before, just not for my art. I used to do craft fairs for things that I'd sewn. I taught myself to use the sewing machine when I was 14-ish, maybe 13. I don't know, it was like early secondary school. And I would sell things. I would usually do quite well despite it being in quite a small village. That's my experience of art markets. I've done 10-ish, maybe more, and they would usually mark sort of spring or Christmas or summer fete, maybe at local schools. Local schools were a tricky one, I must admit. Most people wanted to go there for like the 3 fairground rides that the school would hire out, and then the food and like those little drinks, like the cuboid drinks, and they had like a little film on top, and then you would punch a really sharp straw through it. Those ones, I can't remember what they're called, but most people would just want that. They wouldn't be interested in spending money on art and craft and whatnot, but that was fine. That was a learning experience. As far as my current actual work job, I've progressed in that. Well, I couldn't progress within my role, so I got another job in the same place. I'm still involved in the same work, really, the same team, but I'm just a little bit higher, which is nice. It feels nice because it feels like I'm being listened to when I have problems, and I'm developing the role that I'm in because it's a fairly new one. So it feels very good and fulfilling in that respect. But yes, art. What to say about my art life at the moment? It's almost like talking about the art side of my life feels like when you talk about like your romantic woes, or it feels like when you have to tell your friends about like your love life. Yeah, that's the word, love life. Mine's fine, by the way. Mine's great. Sorry if yours isn't. My art life. Jeez. Where to start? I wanted to actually look at when I got my last order. I'm a little bit scared too, because I know it's ages ago. But let's look anyway. Oh yeah, that the last thing I looked up was the Truman Brewery Fair, and it's called the Other Art Fair. So yeah, definitely don't expect to see me there. Not for a good few years yet. I've not logged in for ages. Should probably update my portfolio. That would be a good idea. I'll give you a hint. The month I last sold something in, that it rhymes with starch. It rhymes with starch. Sad, sad, sad. And that was when I did my... Well, I think February was when I did my shop update. And it was from my shop. I guess this doesn't include when I did my Kickstarter, because that's like... That adds a few more sales on, which is quite nice. That was order number 71. Look at me being transparent. That's great. Where did I send that to, out of curiosity? France! Yeah. So that's cool. Yeah, another transparent thing. I'm going to be pricing my stuff more fairly, as in I am underselling myself. And being in like the illustration world and the art world, that's not a great thing, because we're all meant to be supporting each other. It doesn't matter about how I perceive my art business to be going, whether it's going good or not. I still need to be doing prices that aren't just essentially paying me less than minimum wage. It's the cost of living, or whatever the cost of living crisis here in the UK, but also probably everywhere else. One day I might have a mortgage. I'm just going to take a sip from my water. Anywho, next year, art markets. Expect me to be there, because I'm jumping back in. I can't believe I was doing them when I was like 14 to maybe 16, 14 to 17 maybe. If I can find a picture, I'll pop it up on the screen. I had my old little business was called the Lilac Zebra, because it's my favourite colour and my favourite animal. And yeah, I would just sell my hand and machine sewn goods. And I was very proud of it. I still have lots of stuff laying around, but I'm not entirely comfortable with selling the stuff, because can't really go under my current name brand, because I would definitely prefer the fabric to be of my own design, whereas I was essentially just buying fabric and then sewing with it, and it feels a bit dishonest when I have like an actual name to my artwork for me to use other, you know, stock fabric artwork and other people's designs, if that makes sense. Hence why you haven't seen any of those, and you never will. Yes, so see me at art markets if you're in Oxford. I obviously want that to be part of my newsletter. If I do a month roundup, I could also have a bit at the bottom where I say what's coming up in the next month or in the future, and that might include an art market, just to give some sort of like notification, just in case you happen to be in the UK and in the south of England and it's convenient for you, or you just want to come along and say hi. Whatever, I appreciate it. Over the last 3 days, I absolutely overworked myself at work, which isn't good. And on top of that, as I mentioned at the very start of the video that I quickly deviated from, I'm halfway through this art challenge. Essentially, I decided to do it the day before the start of November, and I said to myself, oh, let's do it a bit different. This is my way of getting out of the commitment of it, is I will literally just make it up as I go along, and get people to guess what I'm drawing. I've gone with like fossils, trace fossils, that sort of realm, because I just thought, well, I can draw some kind of trickier ones. They're a bit niche. And then I can also draw some quite famous finds, if you will, some famous discoveries that a lot of people know about who are in the sphere of paleontology and paleontology media. So I thought that was a good idea. Obviously, I started off with a bang. Popping that up on the screen right now. The comments cracked me up, but I mean, none of the rest of my drawings looked like balls, unfortunately, so the engagement fucking plummeted. No, that's fine. I kind of expected that. I've had fun doing it, whatever, and I've enjoyed sort of doing the little reveals. And the fact that it's like 30 days of November, I'm doing a drawing for 4 days, then doing a reveal on the 5th day, and so on. And it's worked out quite perfectly without me even realising it first. So I'm giving you 24 drawings, ideally, and 6 reveal days. And then the last reveal day is the 30th of November, which is, in my opinion, genius. I didn't know it at the time. It was unintentional genius. So, there you go. Art challenges are still really hard. It's also hard to get people to engage with something where you're not doing an interpretation of a prompt. You're doing a not prompt and you're revealing them after a bit of time. It's a bit weird. But I've noticed that other people are approaching dinovember or draw dinovember in a different way this year. And that's quite fun to see. It's weird how we all sort of synchronise, like, let's do something a little bit different with it, just so it's not same old, same old. The good thing is I'm never going to run out of material to draw. The bad news is I have failed so many times already. Fail is a weird word, because maybe in my eyes it's a failure because I've gone to sketch or draw the final illustration and I've had to just scrap it and start again. But I know that I'm often battling what I'm seeing as a failure is what other people are thinking, no, you're just doing warm-up sketches, it's fine. But then as the month has gone on, I've kind of welcomed the crappy initial sketches. It's not the worst thing in the world. I think it's more the image in my head that I had of me just turning the page, doing a finished drawing, turning the page, doing a finished drawing, and then being able to present that at the end as a lovely video and things don't work out. As a spoiler, they don't work out. But that's fine. The sketchbook I was using anyway was filled with other rubbish. It's like, some of the stuff in there is like some of the most awful things I have drawn personally. But then I've got some really good drawings in there as well. It's a right mixture. And, God, it's such a mixture. So yes, I am recording this voiceover at the halfway point, pretty much, just over the halfway point. And then I'm probably going to post the video very soon. Who knows if I will get to the end of the month's drawings. Who knows? But I'm going to give it a good go. Oh God, I've been talking for 20 minutes. And I don't know what footage you'll be seeing. But have a good one. And I'll see you in the next one. I'm currently editing like 3 videos at the same time, so please bear with me. I'm editing the Wales video, as in when Jam and I and Jam's family went to North Wales, in London though. So I'm editing that. I'm also editing a new video on my zine collection and a video on old dinosaur like paper paraphernalia. I really don't know what to title it, so I'm brainstorming right now. I'll see you next time. Thank you so much for watching. Bye bye.